Hey everybody, how you doing? Sorry I'm running a couple minutes late. Let me see who we've got here. All right, Dave, I got you on the line. How you doing today?
Hello. Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Dave.
I'm sorry. I am in with Judy about something else while I was waiting for you, so I'm a little discombobulated.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
All right.
And Nick, I got you on the line. You there, Nick?
Yeah, hi.
And Joe, I see you're on the call, but you've not entered your audio pin. So your audio pin is pound 100 pound. And that's it. Okay. Joe, you there? I see you now.
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. I don't see Renee. I guess we'll see if he shows up. Okay. Oh, there he is. Okay, let's go to the email. I think I received 3 things. And let me see if anybody sent anything more recently. We'll just go in the order I got them. They all came in within 10 minutes of each other, so I guess it was just happenstance. But Nick, you're up first today. Okay. Oh, and then I muted you. Sorry. Go ahead, Nick. You there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is let's see, Home Solutions.
Correct.
All right. Let me share my screen so you guys can see it. Okay, by the way, I see on here that this is the guy that signed up for the explainer video. Did you get my email on that?
Yeah, neither of the clients that have signed up for it, neither of their identities are done yet. They haven't looked at them, so I haven't sent them to you yet.
Okay, yeah, just send those over, and I've got some background wheels turning in terms of getting those fulfilled, but I'll work on these first couple scripts, send those out. Excuse me. I think you guys will see on these explainer videos that they're going to be actually pretty easy. They're going to be just a very quick take on the identities themselves, so it's not like you're going to have to think some whole new thing up, but there may be some interesting little things that come out of that are a little bit different. I don't know until I sit down and write it, but we'll get that taken care of. Let's go ahead and look at the web, the identity that you sent over to me, Home Solutions. I'm going to just scroll down to the main part, and then we'll go back and we'll check the sliders in a minute. All right, inner box. Do the job once, do the job right. These aren't just empty words or a hollow promise. It's my unrelenting mission and unwavering pledge to my customers. That sounds reasonably familiar. All right. I got these guys memorized by heart.
Yeah, I can change it up a little bit more if you want.
Well, so here's the thing. We just got to make sure that we keep these guys not too much the same. Oh, that's the wrong one.
The old one.
Yeah, so the new one right here. Okay. So let's see what else we got on this guy. We install superior window, door, and bathroom materials, the tested and proven best in the country. We bend over backwards to make things right, even if it eats our profits. We outlaw all sales pressure. Anyone pressuring a customer swiftly shown the exit. We do exactly what we say we'll do. Our word is our bond. Okay, let's go up to the sub-headlines here. I think on the main headlines, the headline and sub-headline A, we may want to, tinker with that a little bit just from making it a little bit different standpoint. But let's look at the sub-headline B. We install superior window, door, and bathroom materials. You know, that reads a little awkward to me because the main word is materials. We install superior windows, but it just seems like it ought to say we install superior windows, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just feels a little bit weird when I read the whole sentence and I know what the sentence is saying. I go, oh, okay, well that makes sense, but it just feels like I hit a little road bump there. The test and proven best.
I was just gonna say that they do a weird combination. They only do windows, doors, and bathrooms, and I wanted to kind of find a way to make sure that the reader knew that's all they do.
Well, so not that our websites look exactly like this anymore because they don't, but with this over here, and the idea of putting the choices right here have always been to let people just instantly see without even having to go to a drop down that here's what we do. So maybe it's not 100% necessary to throw them into the headline because it does clunk it up a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
You know, I'd rather come in with some absolutes instead of those words like, you know, we only install superior, we only use superior materials, period. You know, if they're not tested and proven to be the best in the country, we pass or something like that.
Okay.
The tested, I mean, you've also got sort of a weird sentence construction on this. The tested and proven best in the country.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and you did it anyway, or you know now that you're looking at it?
I realize it more now. I was trying to figure out a way to say our materials, because they literally are like, they use Bath Planet materials, the only ones with good housekeeping seal of approval. So technically they are the best in the country. I guess I didn't find a good enough way to state that though.
Yeah, you know, let's think about a little bit better way to say that. To do that, I'm going to open up your hot button sheet. Let's take a look in there real quick. Exclusive products. So we don't really even have that hot button on here. Make things right. Craft warranties. So, well, tell me about the proven and tested best materials.
Well, okay, for doors, doors and windows, they have the maximum security of any windows and doors. He was saying some technical terms like the doors have some sort of locking mechanism that's used for like bank security. They tested it with a battering ram, and it took the cops 11 times to knock down the door with a battering ram, and they compared that with another door. It only took them once to knock it down.
By the way, make sure you capture that whole discussion that you just gave me right there for the main page of the door page, okay?
Right.
Okay, keep going.
Their windows, I would have to double check, but it's some sort of high-tech fancy name for, they have the best locking mechanism of any window in the country. Their bathroom materials, we kind of already discussed that last week with someone else's Bath Planet identity, good housekeeping seal of approval. There's been a lot of different bathroom companies that have tried to get that good housekeeping approval, but they failed the test.
Yeah, we wrote that identity, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did that I think it was Joe did a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so as you go to write his bathroom page, then you might want to borrow that from Joe as a starting point, okay?
Right.
Well, you know, on the windows and the doors, here's what's interesting. The first thing that you said, and I can only go on what you say. I don't have any other knowledge about this client, but both things you said were security. Is that by coincidence or by accident?
No, the client said that that's the majority of what his customers are looking for is security. There's also
so why is that not clear in the identity?
Well, I
Or
mean,
not,
there's
for
other.
that matter.
Oh, he was. He also said, energy efficiency. That's really important too. The standard things, the easiness to clean and maintenance. So I kind of didn't want to pinpoint that specific feature because not all customers are going to look just for security. Somebody else might be looking for energy efficiency more than anything. Things like that.
Okay, so efficiency. What else? Strong. What else?
Let me see. Well,
Durable.
Yeah, their windows and doors backed up by 50-year warranty. The thing is, they say their 50-year warranty is better than other companies' lifetime warranties because it's unrestricted and it covers everything. Their bathroom is lifetime warranty as well. So, yeah, it lasts a long time.
Now, I'm gonna float this idea to you, and I'm gonna float it to everybody else on here. I feel like you're maybe a little quick to go to the library on this guy, because I'm hearing you say a bunch of things that are interesting that I'd like to see incorporated into the main argument and discussion. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough information, but I'm hearing you talk about strong, efficiency, durable, 50 years is better than lifetime. Keep going. What were you going to say?
Well, this is where I was going to say that the new kind of site plan kind of confused me a little bit because the Why Choose Us section, I was going to save a lot of that for the Why Choose Us because with that new section, I'm trying to get a grasp on what the identity should exactly cover. It's supposed to be a general overview, and then you get into the specifics with the Why Choose Us, and that kind of confuses me. Let
me help you understand this a little bit. And I think it's a great question, and it totally makes sense that you would have that question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think of the identity page. I want you to think of this entire website like a court case. Okay, you're an attorney, you're putting this court case together, and the identity page is your opening statement. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Opening statement.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. Now, I'm not a real attorney, and I don't know a lot about real court cases, but I've seen enough on TV and in movies. Here's what the opening statement should contain. It should contain a summary of the arguments with an emphasis on the most important points of the argument. Overview of the argument with emphasis on most important parts. Now, I know you're a little bit younger than me, Nick. I don't know if you remember the OJ trial or not. It was pretty big time back in the 90s.
Yeah, I think I was like 7th grade or so.
Well, the trial ended up, I think, in about 99. So the murders happened in 94, and I think it ended up in about 99. But here's just to use that as kind of an example. It was a 6-month-long trial, and it had lots of different points that stood out in the media and in people's minds. There was the glove, and did the glove fit? And if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. There was blood splatter testimony. There was the footprint of the Bruno Mali shoe. Do you remember that?
I remember the
point.
Okay, go.
And there was a lot of discussion about where he was, pinpointing his whereabouts. Did he leave with Cato Kalin? What time did he leave? How did he leave? And so it took a long time. It took literally 6 months to go through this case. But if you were to summarize the case, you would look at it and say, well, what are the most important points? And that's what we want to hit in this overview, this summary, this identity. We don't want to go into a massive amount of detail about the Bruno Magli shoe on the first page, because while it is important and while it is relevant and while it is an interesting piece of evidence, it's not the main thing that the entire case rests on, right? So
right.
in our analogy that we're going through right here, that might be one point in the side box, right?
Mm-hmm.
7 pieces of physical evidence to consider: the glove, the footprint, the blood splatter, the tire tracks, whatever it was, right? And so we might put those things, and those are things that we would then potentially expound upon later on in the About Us section. In the Why Choose Us section. So what I want to do in this particular case is I always want to just look at a company and say, what are the biggest, fattest apples on the lowest branches of the tree? What are the things that if you only had 20 seconds, you would want to make sure people knew about you? Okay, now if you had 60 seconds, what are the additional things you would want people to know about you? And these are the things that we want to focus on and concentrate and hit on in this identity. So overview of the argument with an emphasis on the most important points. And when we start talking to the clients, I think it's really important that we look at what order do they put things in, because usually they elevate in importance the things that they feel are the most important, and they talk about them first. Not always, but a lot of times. So a guy's telling me, and I'm just using what you told me as a proxy for what he's saying. Well, we've got a strong door, and it's been hit 11 times by the police battering ram. You know what? I've talked to a lot of guys about doors over the years. I've never heard anybody tell me that before. Here's what that tells me. That tells me that this guy likes this door because it's got this certain strength to it. And then when you turn right around and say, well, he's got this window that is got the best locking mechanism. Well, you know what? I've talked to, 1,000 window guys over the years, and the locking mechanism has come up in conversation before, but it's never come up first in the conversation. Are you following me?
Right, yeah.
So I just look at all that and I go, well, apparently a big part of what this guy does is he has these materials that are strong. Then you look at it and say, well, how does Bath Planet fit into that? Well, maybe it's more of a durability issue in that case. I don't know. You tell me. Yes, no, maybe. 50-year warranty that's better than a lifetime warranty. By the way, make sure you lock and load that for your warranty page, right?
Right.
What a great interrupting way to approach it. Hey, our 50-year warranty is better than everybody else's lifetime warranty. That demands somebody to read it, doesn't it?
Yes.
So again, I'm only going based on what you've told me. I don't have any firsthand knowledge of this client. So you tell me, am I off track? Am I on track?
You're on track. I just didn't know how specific to get necessarily with the product saying. I didn't know if the door battering ram thing was something for the home page or for the door main page.
Well, so now what we're talking about is we've got 3 different products, and what I'm looking for, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to let you look inside my brain for a minute. I'm looking at these 3 products. I'm saying, what are the commonalities among these products, if any? And I saw this immediate connection on windows and doors. Battering ram caliber door, strongest locking mechanism, windows. Okay, so those 2 things look very, very connected. So then the next thing I'm looking for is, well, how can I connect the bathrooms into that? Are we going to take battering ram and try to break the bathroom? Well, probably not. Do we want to lock people out of the bathroom? Well, probably want a good lock on the door, but that's besides the point. But is it perhaps more durable? I mean, I know enough about these kinds of bathrooms that there's flimsy, cheesy acrylic stuff, and then there's stronger, more durable, more firm, rigid, less pliable, stronger stuff. And I'm going to take a guess that that's what he has.
It's acrylic, but I guess it's really strong, well-made acrylic.
So here's what I want to know if I'm talking. See, here's what I'm trying to go with this. I want to be constructing this narrative as I'm on the phone with the guy. Okay, which is what I'm doing with you. I'm using you as a proxy for him on the phone. right? I don't have him on the phone, but I have you reporting what he told you on the phone. So if a guy says to me, hey, we got the strongest doors, strongest windows, all those things you just said, I say, well, it sounds like you're really interested in strong stuff. Well, it's important to a lot of our customers. Okay, great. Well, what about the bath? Is it strong? Well, we use acrylic. Well, is it stronger than normal acrylic? Well, yeah, it is. Well, how? Tell me about that. Give me some details. This is where we want to get the details, because the narrative that I'm trying to form is, sort of this strong, durable, impenetrable, unbreakable, fortress type product family of products. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but I guarantee if I'm on the phone with the guy, I'm exploring the heck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to explore the heck out of it with you. Because I don't have him. So what do you think?
No, I agree. Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to agree with me. I want you to tell me if that's accurately what he thinks or not. Because I don't know.
That is the very first thing you mentioned is his products. How, well, for instance, his windows and doors, he exclusively installs those. The very first thing he mentioned was his good products, and then he went into, the making things right all the time. And what I was trying to do is kind of combine those two things into one, and I guess I didn't do that very well.
Okay, so let's explore some ways to talk about this. I'm writing some words down on a piece of paper here. Here's the words I wrote down. Strongest products, longest lasting, durable, secure, I'm just gonna let myself write down a bunch of words right now. I'm not necessarily trying to write anything. Here goes some more words. Unbending, unbreakable, rigid, unmovable. So what I probably want to do is start jotting some of these down on the screen here. And I'm going to start looking for some more synonyms. So let me just put this. I'm just making notes here. I'm not trying to write anything. Now I'm going to start looking for some synonyms here. Strongest, sturdy, that's a good word right there. All right. What else? Stout, solid, tough. Now, just look at this list, okay? We haven't written anything. We're just making notes. But do you see how I'm sort of building up this inventory of stuff that would be probably pretty interesting if we started integrating it into an identity? Robust, resilient, heavy duty. I was just looking at a website earlier for Freelight. I know you've seen this, but I just thinking of it just now. Remember this? If type A personality means somebody is driven, aggressive, and forceful, you might say that my personality is type Z. And then I was looking at what we were just typing over here. Whoops. And I'm thinking, okay, the guy who, I'm not writing a headline, I'm just kind of thinking through some thoughts. Something like, the guy who calls his stuff heavy duty is, a panty waist is kind of where we're coming from, right?
Right.
And think about this. I'm a guy who's randomly looking through the internet trying to find information on doors or windows or bathrooms, and I come upon this website that sells whatever that product is, and I find this guy talking about, heavy duty, unbendable, unbreakable, unmovable, sturdy, stout, solid, tough, and he's using powerful language to do it, and I start thinking, wow, that sounds pretty good. And these are qualities of these products that I may not even have really been thinking about going into the discussion. Let's see if we can find some other good words. Durable, sturdy, strong, robust. Secure. Let's see what secure has for us. Safe, protected. Unbending. Inflexible, fixed, rigid, adamant, obdurate. Probably don't want to put obdurate. Unbreakable, indestructible, permanent. Now, all I'm doing is this, and I want everybody to kind of follow me through the thought process. The thought process is I'm always looking for a narrative that I can exploit when I'm talking to the guy. So when I hear the guy talking about these battering ram doors and these highest quality locking mechanism windows and this, bathroom that has this incredible warranty and this super durable acrylic, I'm going, okay. So this guy, is going for stuff that's strong. So then I start looking under strong, and I come up with this list of words. And just looking at this list gives me sort of a feel. And I mean that in the most literal sense of the word. I'm just trying to get a feel for what I can expect from this client. Okay? Now, let me ask you this. Are we going overboard on this? Is this really not that big of a part of what he does, and there's really other parts that are more important or equally as important?
He would say these products are the most important, followed closely by making things right for customers.
Now, here's what's interesting to me in my mind about that. You see how making things right almost takes care of itself if you insist on these kinds of things that are on the screen?
Yeah.
I mean, would somebody that insists on long-lasting, strong, rigid, unmovable, sturdy, stout, solid, heavy-duty, secure, safe, protected, unbending, unbreakable, rigid stuff not do things right?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way to approach that. So let's find a way to say it. Let's find a way to now say it. So we've invested this time into this exercise. Let's now write it out somehow. Now, one way to do it, I don't know if this is something you've seen before, in the context of MYO. I'm not saying, we got a patent on this. It's probably been done. But one way to do it is to literally take a bunch of these words and string them together, because it looks very powerful. Let me give you an example here. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through these in a ton of detail. This is just to give you an idea. we refuse to install anything but the most indestructible, permanent, longest lasting, durable, safe, secure, protected, unbending, unbreakable, rigid, unmovable, sturdy, stout, solid, tough, heavy duty, robust products imaginable. Any questions? Now we'd want to fiddle with those words to make sure that they fit and to make sure that they look okay on the page.
So,
and I'm not
you're
saying
suggesting using. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm suggesting you just string these suckers together, man. And the string becomes so long that a guy goes, okay, I get it. It's freaking strong. And that's the point, right?
Right.
And I'm admitting right up front, I'm not saying that this is the exact order they go in and that all of these words fit exactly and that you wouldn't want to review this list, and go through it and be a little more meticulous than just randomly finding some synonyms and randomly stringing them together like I'm doing right now. But, oops. Again, this needs a lot of work. I'm just trying to throw out this idea, okay? We refuse to install anything but the most indestructible, permanent, strong, longest lasting, durable, secure, safe, protected, unbending, unbreakable, rigid, unmovable, sturdy, stout, solid, tough, heavy-duty, robust products and materials available on the market. I don't know, whatever. Depends on how,
Panty waste, is that too slangy?
Probably so.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Just put it on there, It's kind of, I want you to feel where we're going with this, right?
Right.
Our windows are literally indestructible. Our doors are battering ram tough. Our bathrooms are Armageddon proof. Don't settle for cheap. Don't need another word for settle. Don't settle for cheap. Don't accept. Don't settle for cheap. Don't accept long lasting. Don't. Another word for settle.
Be satisfied.
Don't settle for cheap. Don't accept long lasting. Don't be satisfied with cheap. If you want the absolute best, here comes the flag. Remember the flag discussion?
Right.
Okay. Now, this is a terrible first headline, but it makes a good summary headline. Because now when I say absolute best, they have a mountain to look at and go, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Apparently this is the absolute best. Something like this. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. You know, if we went back, we could massage that top a little bit. We refuse to install anything but the most. You know, probably move durable. I can't tell you why durable seems like a better first word than indestructible, and indestructible seems fine after the word durable, but it does for some reason. Longest lasting, secure, safe, protected, unbending, unbreakable, rigid, unmovable, stout, solid, tough, heavy-duty, robust products and materials on the market. I mean, I kind of like this. I might even do one of these things. Remember we used this technique last week?
Sandwich it.
Yeah, we used the sandwich. So we've got the bread, and then we got the meat in the middle. I don't know. Now, what I don't like about this is I would like for it to read clean from black line to black line. We refuse to install anything but the most products, you know, the most. I'd like to have it read clean if they only read the black. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can engineer that or not. Let's try it real quick.
Could you take one of the adjectives and just put it before products and materials on the big black line?
Probably don't like the word robust. The most. Okay, I don't know if I like sturdy or not, but you're right. It does work that way, right? See?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Don't settle for cheap. Don't accept long-lasting. Don't be satisfied with good enough. If you want the absolute unqualified best. Now, I still like the word best there, even though it doesn't specifically talk about durability, sturdiness, etc., because we've already covered that. It's understood that best means sturdiest. So then I would probably re-engineer this text a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here, so I don't want to just say, hey, this text isn't any good. It is good. But I would just want to make sure this narrative continues.
Sure.
when there's lots of companies out there in the market selling similar products, windows and stuff, but we made a choice to be the company that sells long-lasting, durable stuff. Only the best is what we decided to sell. Yeah, you can find cheaper windows and doors, and you can find less expensive bathrooms, but that's not what we do. For example, our bathrooms, blah, 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 and our windows, blah, 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 lock, strong, blah, and our doors, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they're energy efficient. Yes, they're beautiful. Yes, they look fantastic. But that's the easy part. The hard part is getting something to last. In fact, our warranties are best. Our warranties are 50 years. They're better than lifetime warranties. Click here for more information. Boom, warranty page. Or, why choose us page that has warranties as one of the elements of it. And, you've got a lot of this information already down here. I'm not suggesting that this isn't good, because it is. When I say our products are the absolute best on the market, I firmly stand behind that. See, that works well with what we've done.
Right.
And do it once, do it right attitude works fine too. You don't have to abandon that whole discussion. Maybe you come in the text with that. Do it once, do it right. That's been our philosophy since the day we started this company. That's why we've chosen these products. That's why we insist on these kinds of things. See how that works?
Yes.
What I'm hoping the major takeaway is from this conversation is exploring these narratives as the conversation's happening. You look at the written evaluation that they send over before the call, and hopefully some of that starts to come out. Then you get on the call and you start exploring that narrative, and then you start looking for evidence that you can gather to back up your narrative. And if they start pushing back and say, well, that's really not that important, then well, maybe the narrative that I thought was right really isn't the one that we want to explore. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go with that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you think if you want to scroll back down to the body text real quick, there's a paragraph about their workmanship, and that's really interesting in that he has specific crews, one for windows, one for doors, one for bathrooms. Each crew only takes one job on at a time, and the customer has to sign a form before they can move on to the next job. Do you think there's any place I could fit that in the identity, or it won't work?
Well, so let's review what I want on the identity. Overview of the argument with the emphasis on the most important parts. So if it's a case overview, if it's an opening statement, but I think it's definitely worth mentioning. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm seeing on here, we've got this huge paragraph right here. It's too much for a paragraph. We need to break these so they're a little bit easier to read. Okay, so maybe is that in there somewhere? Where is that?
That's all that paragraph that I just said.
Yeah, so here's how I'd probably write this text. I'd probably start with do it once, do it right. That's the guiding philosophy. It governs everything we do here, from the materials to the installation to the warranties to the entire customer experience. For instance, and then I might put, materials. Bulletproof doors, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. And then I might put another section that says installation. Specialists only. We don't let bathroom installers install windows. We don't let window installers do doors. One thing at a time, blah, blah, blah. This is maybe a 3 to 4 line paragraph. So I've got one paragraph that says materials, only the best. Installation, specialists only. Warranties, never worry, period. And then I might have another one that says customer experience, dash, pleasant. And then something that says, no sales pressure, no dog and pony shows, we're in and out of your house fast. And then see, each of these is what I've done is I've given a brief overview of things that I can now expand on the Why Us page, right?
Right.
See how that works? Isn't it beautiful?
It's beautiful.
And then at the bottom of this, you know, we just summarize. Anyone can remodel your house. Anyone can install a window. And lots of people will claim that they can do it for less. And you know what? They're right. You just have to decide what's important to you. Do you want a guy who's in and out and cheap and now you've got problems later? Or do you want the job done right the first time? Our motto is do it once, do it right. That's not just a motto. It's an ironclad promise. And see, now we start with that at the top, and now we end with that as a closer, right?
Right.
And at the end, I think it's interesting to say, do it once, do it right. It's not just a slogan. It's an ironclad promise. And now think about how much of a clincher that is after that opening statement. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you're looking for products that are sturdy, blah, 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 strong, immovable, blah, 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 whatever it says up here, that's what we do. Our windows are literally indestructible. Our doors are battering ram tough. Our bathrooms are Armageddon proof. Don't settle for cheap. Don't accept long lasting. Don't be satisfied with good enough. If you want absolute unqualified best, call Home Solutions. Do it once. Do it right. That's been our slogan ever since we started this company in 1987. The way that we perform on that extends to every single part, every single facet of everything we do every day, from the very first contact to the very last, everything. It includes the following areas. 1, materials. Only the best. From our doors to our blah, 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 strong, battering ram, 11 times quickly, four lines. That's it. Installation specialists only. We only let our guys work on the one specific thing because blah, 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 specialists. They're not subcontractors. They're employees, blah, blah, blah. Click here to read more. Warranties. Never worry, period. Our 50-year warranty is better than most guys' lifetime warranty. Here's why. Short, brief, 3 lines, 4 lines. Click here for more information. Customer experience, pleasant. We wrap all of this in a pleasant experience. We're not going to twist your arm. We're not going to give you a dog and pony show. We're not going to have pricing games. We're not going to say buy it now or, die. We're going to make it easy to deal with. We're going to have, clean, uniformed workers and drug-tested background check, everybody on time, pleasant. Click here for more information. And then the closing statement. Lots of contractors. There's lots of contractors you can buy this stuff from. A lot of them will say that they can do it for less money, and you know what? They're right. They can do it for less money. That's the route they've chosen. Like everything in life, there's guys that do it for more money, guys that do it for less money. We don't charge, quote unquote, a lot of money. We charge the amount that it costs to actually do the job right. If that's what you're looking for, if you're interested in long-term solutions that last, that are durable, strong, protected, unbending, rigid, breakable, stout, our slogan, do it once, do it right, isn't just a cute slogan. It's an ironclad promise. Signed, Dave Johnson. Wow. Damn. This guy freaking needs business. Then you might have to put something in there. You might have to write some text for this that says, yes, I want it done right, but is it cost prohibitive? And then you can answer that objection, right? This is an objection to ownership. Wow, this all sounds good, but am I going to pay a fortune for it? Well, actually, you're going to pay more. But here's what we found. To do it the way that we do it that's better is usually going to end up costing anywhere from about 12 to 18% more. Yes, there are people that will do it for really, really cheap, and, that's just garbage. But we're about 12 to 18% above average. And here's what you're getting for your 12 to 18%. So you just got to decide, is it worth 12 to 18% more to get it done right? If it is, wonderful. If it's not, good luck with that. So anyway, it's kind of how that works.
Okay.
Were you able to capture that outline?
Yes. This is being recorded, I hope?
Yes. This is all being recorded.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Okay. Renee asked a question. Are we uploading these to Flickr? And the answer is no. But what I am doing is we're recording all of these calls, and I take all of these ones that I write, and what I do is I do save and send, and I'll send it as an attachment. Now what I'm going to do is I'll send this to Nick, but I'll also send it to you, Renee, and I'll send it to Dave, and I'll send it to Joe, and I'll also copy Chad on it. Now what Chad's going to do is take it, he's going to post it along with this video so that you have it available. So I'm actually going to, yeah. Can you guys do me a favor when you send these over? Can you use a file format that has the company name in it? And instead of HS identity, just put, you know, Home Solutions or whatever. So that'll be a little bit easier. But I'm going to go ahead and send that. So you guys have that now. And then also, in addition to that, when you go online to MYM online-MYM Insider, then this is all of our Insider webinars, but you'll also see here that we have a Senior Consultant Call tab. And when you click on that, it'll bring up the ones that we've done. And when you click on Watch Webinar, then you'll be able to download the rewrites. So it's right there. So all this stuff will be there. This will be a training tool that'll be available for future new guys, but it'll also be available for you to review anything that you want to review, okay? And we'll post these generally within about, I guess, same day or something. Chad, can you send me an IM? What's the typical time for getting these done? I don't really know. It's about a day, I think. Okay, let's do this. Let's go over to Dave. All right, Dave, you're up, my friend.
Okay.
This looks like a revision, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So hopefully that'll go quick, right?
Yeah. Well, I kind of took what you'd said to kind of almost type over what you did for the metal roofing. So, of course, that doesn't match exactly, nor probably should it, but I did use it as a framework, or tried to anyway.
Okay, fantastic. All right, let's
and I
take a look.
Flipped the theme of him not being a salesman into the box, where before I had the theme as him not being a salesman, and then the infinity windows in the box.
Okay.
I flipped them.
So you just flip-flop those two things, right?
Well, yeah, essentially.
Okay. The last windows you'll ever buy, period. Infinity Windows by Marvin beat vinyl windows hands down. These fiberglass windows look great. Lower energy bills, are incredibly strong, and come with a lifetime warranty. Vinyl windows eventually leak. These won't. Vinyl windows chalk and fade. These won't. Vinyl windows have that plastic look. These don't. Vinyl windows typically have limited viewing area. These don't. Plus, the Infinity Ultrex fiberglass is 8 times stronger than vinyl. Question: how long are you planning on living in your home? By the way, I like this. I think this is good. I mean, we're going to want to probably work on, we got kind of a funky look going here. It kind of builds out to look like, you know, the monster that's terrorizing downtown Tokyo. See that? We got the arms over here kind of sticking out, and we got the legs down here.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So, I mean, that's just a minor thing, and it's not really that big of a deal of a thing, but I would probably play around with it just a little bit to see if I could, you know, to see what I could do. And maybe after fooling around with it for a little bit, the answer is, well, it really, this just is what it is, to which I would say, great, fine. But I'd fool around with it a little bit.
Okay.
You know, the use of the word these is throwing me for a little bit of a loop. I don't hate it, and I'm not opposed to it, and I might be able to be talked into it, but it's a little bit disconcerting for some reason.
And I agree with you, and here's what I wrestled with that. I had it as I can't remember exactly what I had, but basically, so I'm saying the last windows you'll ever buy, period. That doesn't tell them anything about the kind of why they're the last or what the material is different. And then I immediately say Infinity Windows by Marvin. But again, that doesn't tell them anything about the material being used. It just says that they beat vinyl windows. And I didn't want to go another step without saying, by the way, these are fiberglass, and that's what the difference is with vinyl. Now, I don't, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I wanted to get fiberglass in there somewhere. And I felt if I just said fiberglass windows, well, do they automatically understand that that's what Infinity Windows by Marvin are? So I guess that's kind of where I got, and maybe that led to that funky construction. But that's what I was struggling with. Like, how long can I go for this conversation about trashing vinyl without actually saying what this alternative actually is? Does that make sense?
Well, so here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to have a conversation that we're not trying to settle the issue. We're just discussing it, okay?
Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking. There's some possibilities. First of all, this whole Infinity by Marvin thing really wigs me out. Not on your page, not with this client, just in general, okay? Because what a weird long thing to have to say. Infinity Windows by Marvin.
Yeah.
It's like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. They're like, who came up with that? Ruth? Chris? What? Chris's Ruth's Steakhouse I can understand, but Ruth's Chris. Anyway, it's just kind of that same thing where it's like Infinity Windows by Marvin. Who's Marvin? And the Marvin guys would all tell you that, well, everybody knows Marvin, so we want to make sure that we, keep all this right in the spotlight because everybody's coming to our website looking for Infinity by Marvin. What I would suggest is maybe we make it clear somehow on this page that we're talking about Infinity Windows by Marvin, but then after that we don't refer to it anymore.
Okay. Yeah, and I think down in the text, in certain spots where it was obvious and we've already introduced it, I did shorten it to Infinity by Marvin or sometimes Infinity Windows. Like because I agree with you, it's kind of a mouthful to say every time. It's like this, this official title every time. So where the context would support it, I did try and shrink it, so to speak.
Fiberglass don't. Okay, see, this construction of the sentence is very powerful. Bold, fiberglass won't. These won't, these don't, these won't.
Yeah.
It's a strong construction regardless of the word. I think that when we put the word fiberglass in there, I like it better because it's simply reinforcing what the solution is over and over and over again.
Okay.
It's shouting the word fiberglass, fiberglass, fiberglass. They're like, oh, okay, oh crap, apparently fiberglass is a big deal.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, it is kind of a big deal. Let's look at this. Let's just try this a little bit. Now, one thing that's a little freaky here, we got to get outside of the client's comfort zone a little bit. We got to understand something. When you say fiberglass windows, I'm not so sure that that's not a little bit freaky to people. Because I'm not so sure that people don't start thinking, well, what do you think? The glass is made out of fiberglass? I don't know that they automatically assume that you're talking about what they would call the frame. It's what
I see what you're saying.
The dealer would call it the sash. I hate the word sash. I think when people think sash, they think what the Girl Scout's wearing when she's trying to sell, cookies at the grocery store. So we use the word frame, but I think when people look at the word fiberglass windows, I don't know that they automatically assume that you're talking about the frame. Some probably do, but some probably just go, what? Fiberglass windows mean vinyl. Now, we got the word vinyl right there, so people can immediately go, oh, okay, well, clearly vinyl is the frame. Okay, so I'm probably okay with that. Fiberglass windows beat vinyl, hands down. The last windows you'll ever buy, period. Fiberglass windows beat vinyl, hands down. See, maybe now we come in here.
Just to let you know, that's not precisely true. He does about 5% vinyl. But I did ask him, I said, are you comfortable with me, just full on doing the full on fiberglass comparison with vinyl since you do 95%? And he was fine with that, but to say that they only sell that one thing actually isn't precisely true.
I would go back and say, are you comfortable with me saying this?
Okay.
And I would say it if you could.
Okay. I have a feeling just from having talked to him that he's probably going to reject that, but I'll try.
I would suggest to him that the power in saying that is worth eliminating the 5% of his business that goes to vinyl.
Okay. I mean, I'll make that argument with him.
I mean,
have that discussion.
If he said, 20% of our business is vinyl, that's different, right? 5% says 1 out of 20. Okay,
yeah.
Let's just fire that client and let's get more powerful with our language as a result, so that we can convert even a higher percentage. And now, instead of having 1 out of 20 that we lost, we now have 1 out of 40 because we got 20 extras that we did sell because we were so powerful in our language, right?
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you think it lessens the power to say we only recommend?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's I'm telling you, man, this makes a huge difference. And I wouldn't push a client to do this if it was 80-20. But if it's 95-5, I'm going to push the client to do this. I'm going to say, quit selling that stuff, or be okay selling it. And if the one guy out of 20 that you ultimately say, well, I guess we can do that if you want, here it is. If the guy says, well, I thought you only did that. Okay, whatever. Just don't worry about it. Yeah. But I want to say to him, we only sell this because we freaking hate the other thing. We think it sucks. We think it's a disservice. We think it's horrible. We think if you buy it, you're a nut. That's the position that's so strong.
Yeah. I guess the only other question I have about using the word sell here is in the and not that I can't change the box around a little bit, but in the box I specifically am basically saying I don't sell, I'm not a salesman, and then we're using the word sell prominently right next to it in the other headline. I know that might be a little nitpicky. I'm just thinking this through as we're talking.
There. Which one do you want?
Okay.
Offer, carry, or install?
Well, I like install. Carry, I don't know, maybe carry. Oh.
All right, you can pick later. We only
Okay.
sell fiberglass windows by Infinity. They look great, lower energy bills, are incredibly strong, and come with a lifetime warranty. Vinyl windows eventually leak, fiberglass won't. Vinyl windows chalk and fade, fiberglass won't. Vinyl windows have that plastic look, fiberglass does not. Vinyl windows typically have limited viewing areas, fiberglass does not. This plus seems almost superlative at this point. Isn't that why all of those other things?
Yeah, if I'm going to be brutally honest, in part I was just I was mimicking what you'd done last week with the metal roofing, and there was a punch at the end, which I think maybe in that one made more sense than it does here. When I was rereading this and revising it and everything, I was a little bit like, maybe this is one line too many. So I don't disagree with you.
Okay, it's gone. Easy enough. Question for you. See, instead of here's what I recommend instead, that's why we only carry Infinity fiber. You know, what sucks about this Infinity Windows by Marvin is that it has the word "by" in it, because we can't use the word "by" also, you know, a second time. Infinity fiberglass windows, Infinity Windows by Marvin. I freaking hate that. That's why we only carry. That's why we only carry fiberglass. The key to these windows is Ultrex. Is that a word, pultruded?
Yes, it is a word. That Marvin features pretty heavily, or maybe not pretty heavily.
What does it mean?
I have no idea.
Well, let's find out what it means.
Here, I'll Google while you're doing that. Up there, you beat me to it.
Continuous process for manufactured composite materials. All right, that's bullcrap. Nobody cares. The difference is a material called Ultrex.
I think what they're getting at is that it's there's some sort of consistency to it because it's mixed together during the manufacturing process, this whole thing. But even that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Special, or is it enough to say it's fiberglass-based material developed?
Now, I'm going to give you something here. Check this out. I showed you this before. I'm going to show it to you again. Okay, this is a Renewal by Anderson mock-up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, this competes against fiberglass, but just barely, right? The strength of fiberglass, but can be made in any shape. That's really the only beef they have against fiberglass, is that it can't be made into different shapes.
Okay.
Which is non-issue on a lot of kinds of windows, right? When you're making a regular double-hung window, it's not in any weird shape.
Understood.
So here's what I like. Look at how this is written. The secret is a revolutionary material we invented and patented in 1992 called Fibrex. It's a revolutionary, probably don't need that word revolutionary twice, composite that combines the strength and stability of wood with the low maintenance features of vinyl. And the only windows in the world made from Fibrex are Renewal by Anderson. We pioneered vinyl windows in 1959, blah, blah, blah. Fibrex does cost a little more up front. You see how that paragraph right there tells what Fibrex is in a way that's easy for a normal human to understand?
Yeah.
Do you have this?
I believe. Well, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen that one on Flickr. I'm not 100% sure that I do, actually.
This one was pretty new. I mean, this was newer than. I think I did this after we put this stuff on Flickr.
Okay.
I'll just send it over to you.
Okay.
Because I think that's worth using. What the crap, man? I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way. All right, that's coming to you. And I'm specifically showing you that one paragraph about how they talked about Fiber X. I think it's a good way to talk about Ultrex. I think you can literally just copy and modify it as necessary, okay?
Okay.
Best of all, is stable in any temperature. Ultrex fiberglass is known for low thermal expansion. The leaking, warping is common with vinyl. Simply will not happen with this material. There are plenty of other benefits to Infinity by Marvin. Best finish, patented mechanically bonded. What is it? Best finish in terms of what? Discoloring, longest lasting finish? No,
well, it's thicker than thicker than the competitive finishes, and that means less discoloration, less scratching, less denting.
That sounds like longest lasting to me. Right?
That's fine, yep.
Or best looking something. Not just best looking or longest lasting, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
Sloppy, no sloppy corners. I like that no sloppy corners because nobody knows what that means, but it kind of draws you into out of curiosity. What does that mean?
Figure out what it means.
Okay. Super efficient. Best warranty. Want more? Window comparison page. You're probably wondering how much it's going to cost. You know, and then again, same thing. If you go back to the Renewal by Anderson page, they'll give you some ideas on that. Not that saying that what you have is not good. But
okay.
Just by way of comparison. Yeah,
gotcha.
Right down here. This costs a little more up front, makes up for the difference over the long life, reduced maintenance since our windows last longer, much longer than we replace them again, blah, blah, blah. The result is a beautiful window now. That's the perfect window. Give us a call. Okay, I think you're ready to roll.
Okay.
Did we make changes up here that need to go to you? I'll send it to you.
Let's
look at the...
Yeah.
Truly a family-run business. We treat every customer like family. Rush. Fresh selling. I never dictate to educate. Okay, this is all fine. Let me just go ahead and send this over to you, okay?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, what else you got for me, Dave?
That's it. That's what I had today.
Okay, thanks, Dave. And we'll flip over to Joe Mo. You there, Joe?
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Pretty good.
All right. Well, let's see what Seamless Services has for us.
Yeah, I just started these hot buttons, but I wanted to go ahead and review it today so maybe we can flush it out and knock it out.
Okay. So let's take a look at number one. If you don't want the job done right, I don't want your job. It sounds like a country song.
No. Well, I mean, this repeatedly he says is that we're going to do the job right, and if you don't want it done right, then we're not your guy.
Okay. Corner cutting and fake discounts. See below. We're going to do the job right. It doesn't matter if we're higher, if we never change our bid. This is what it costs to get it done right. It's the only way we want to do it. Strict criteria. Keep 40-year warranties. Any kind of shortcuts. Okay. Headlines. I don't care what the other guy says he can do it for. I know what it takes to do the job right. That's our bid. No, we are not the most expensive, just the best. Okay, that's pretty long, but maybe if you broke it up, it would be, readable.
Yeah, I haven't flushed this out yet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is good. Let's go to hot button 2. Not just the roof. Is this primarily a roofer?
Yeah, that's all they do. They started doing homeowner associations, big communities, have done about 4,100. He wants to get into the retail, and this is kind of the dicey part I wanted to talk to you about. It's kind of going to be geared towards retail, but they still want to do their homeowners associations.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that homeowner associations want to do the job right too, right?
Yeah, that's where all their businesses come from. So it's kind of a trust issue. As you see my other, well, I've got a couple of headlines at the very bottom of the page too. That's what I'm working with.
Okay. Well, so let's explore this hot button of if you don't want it done right, I don't want to take your job. You know, and
okay,
that whole approach. And perhaps if I scroll this document, you'll address it. But here's what we've got to make sure happens. We've got to make sure that we give them examples of what it means to do the job wrong. Okay? You can't just come in. I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm just having a general conversation, okay? You can't come in and say, hey, if you don't want to do it right, then I don't want your visits because we insist on doing things right. And then the reader goes, okay, that's I can appreciate that, but I don't even know how to evaluate what's right and what's wrong. So we then have to come in and immediately educate. Here's the kinds of things. If you remember on some previous identities we've done, remember the one where we had the discussion about 6 nails versus 5 or 4?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kinds of things that need to immediately be integrated into this. So when a guy says, hey, if you don't want to do it right, then I don't want to do your job, okay. Then we would need to come in and follow that by saying, most guys cut corners, take shortcuts, nickel and dime the job to death so that they can put the money in their pockets. The result is you end up with a crummy roof that prematurely fails that's going to cause you problems, for instance. And then they need to understand what those things are. You can't just leave them with do it right. They've got to understand the parameters. And that's why I love that approach. I don't remember whose client that was. I think it might have been Dave's, but 6 nails, not 5. This is just one little thing, and it seems like it's not a big deal. But the reality is, if you cut corners and you only put 4 nails instead of 6, that'll save a roofer on average job about $3 of materials and about $52 of labor. But if you multiply that type of mistake by a dozen other things, including the size, the thickness of the felt, the overlap pattern of the shingles, the granularity of the shingle itself, the this, the this, the this, the this, and the this, all of those $3 to $50 saved gives the contractor the ability to sell you that roof for 10 to 20% less, but you've got a roof now that's a powder keg that's going to fail when anything significant happens to the roof. Instead of having a 40-year true warranty that's ironclad and going to protect you, you've now got a 25-year warranty on paper that you'll be lucky to see last even 5 years. Oh, okay. Now I understand what you mean when you say you want people that want it done right. Okay? In this staying on top of processes, it feeds into that discussion. Let's see what else you have. HOA is trusted with 4,100 jobs. To keep an eye out for problems, regular maintenance services. Okay, that's good. I think what I want to see you do on this as you go in to write the identity. See, we're looking for a narrative, right? Always be thinking in terms of narrative. As we get into this discussion, narrative is just another way of saying telling a story. But I don't like to use the word telling a story because it suggests that the story has to be first person, or it has to be cutesy, or it has to be personal. And we do use cutesy, first person, personal stories sometimes in the narrative, but not always. Sometimes the narrative is just a discussion of what I wanted to know. Okay? So I kind of like this, and I think he would like it too. I mean, that's always something you got to keep in mind is, well, what will the client like? What will the client accept? What will the client think is a good capture of their identity? And if you came in there with some headlines in the neighborhood of, if you don't want to do the job right, then I don't want you as a customer, and then immediately turn around and what I said earlier, right? So we need to say, well, here's the kinds of things. And if I were you, I would go listen to this segment of the call again, and I would make detailed notes because I verbally sketched out how that headline funnel would progress and then on into the text earlier on this same conversation.
Okay.
So just
I really like that. I really like that the warranty on paper. You know, it's not just a paper warranty. It's something like that. I really like that.
Yeah, it's not a paper warranty. It's a real warranty. You know, and I was thinking in my mind as I was saying that, you know, you won't just have, and then I put the word 25 years in quotation marks, right? Air quotes.
Right.
25 year warranty on paper. It's a real warranty, ironclad, backed up by real service for 40 freaking years. But the only way to make that happen, you know, and then you can, I would probably in that discussion, now I'm talking about in the text, I would probably put some kind of a little jab at the client. Just a little one. We don't want to antagonize people, but we want to give them a little jab. So I might say something like, you know, if maybe you don't care about a 40-year warranty. Maybe you think you'll be long gone from the house, so you're not really concerned about if the warranty really lasts. Fair enough. Hey, if you're planning on moving next year, you know, what do you care? But if you plan on being in your home, remember this discussion? It was on Dave's. He just wrote. It was on, and he took it from the one with permanent roofing guy. But if you're planning on being in your home for even 3 or 4 years, not to mention 10, then my goodness, to shortcut the roofing process to save a few dollars is truly the epitome of the saying "pound wise and penny foolish," or how does this go? Penny wise and pound foolish. Why would you do that? You know, and I would integrate that. And, you know, there was a parallelism that we explored in that last one for Dave that I kind of liked. Remember, we started the text part with do it once, do it right. And then we came back at the end and said do it once, just slogan. And then you can kind of use that same sort of parallelism. You know, hey, if you don't want to do it right, don't, you know, hire, you know, I don't want to do business with you. Then you go through the reasons and how that works and what you do. And then you come down to the end. Yeah, you know, maybe you don't want to be in your house for 40 years. Maybe you don't care what happens to your roof. Hey, if you're not going to be in your home for more than 1 year, and you're just getting the roof done so you can sell it, maybe you don't care. But if you're going to be there for 2 years or 5 years, or heaven forbid 10 years or more, then it would be absolutely penny wise and pound foolish to do anything but do the job right. Trust me, you don't want to say that the 12%, the 22% that you're going to save will not be worth it in terms of headache, problems, repairs, and premature replacement. So, yeah, if that's what you're interested in, call somebody else. No harm, no foul. We can part as friends. You know, good luck with that. But if you want it done right, if you're talking to the right dude right here, right now, give me a call. And so we sort of end with that, and now there's extra power because they understand it, because we've told them what the parameters are.
Okay, perfect.
So I kind of like that. And then I would take some of these other elements. You know, we keep an eye out for maintenance. That's something that you can integrate into that discussion. Remember earlier I gave you a definition. I said the identity page is an overview of the argument with an emphasis on the most important parts. So we can take and we can integrate this. So, yeah, this is why we have a 40-year warranty, and that's why we want to come out and check on it. If there's a problem, we want to catch it before it becomes a major problem. Hell, the last thing we want is a major problem that we're on the hook because of the warranty to come out and fix. If there's any problem, that's why we come out and do the maintenance and make sure that it's okay. Because it's not you that has to pay for it. It's us. You see how that argument is probably not fully realized in the prospect's mind?
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, think about that for a second. I mean, this is pretty profound stuff. It's one thing to say, hey, you know, we're going to keep an eye out for problems. We're going to do maintenance on a regular basis. But why? Because we're on the hook for paying for the dumb thing, not you. What do you care? Besides the hassle. Okay. We stay on top of current processes. That would fit in there. So then what I might put in the box on this one is I might explore the HOA thing in the box. And the reason is because a couple of things. Number one, it's good social proof for anybody. But it also is going to be a very direct and explicit shout out to the homeowners associations that they still want to do business with, right?
Yes, that'd be great.
So instead of just burying it somewhere on, on page 3 or somewhere in the text, so now we put it in the box. Homeowners associations can't afford to have problems. That's why they choose us. And then the little bit of text, blah, blah, blah. Now, the guy that comes on there from an HOA who's been referred or, looking at this company, they see that and they go, oh, yeah, this is great. But now think about it from the perspective of a guy who doesn't know anything or care anything or has no affiliation with the homeowners association. He's just looking at it for his own roof. He sees that, and it's still relevant. It still lends credibility. It still lends social proof, so it's still worth it to have it there. I think it really serves multiple purposes to dedicate your box to the HOA discussion in this case.
Yep, I love that. Perfect.
Okay. So that's it. Go ahead and write that up, and let's review it next week on the call, okay?
Okay.
And again, my offer stands to you guys. If you want me to review something in the middle part of the week, feel free to send it over. I'd be happy to review it. And if I don't, feel free to ping me 27 times and say, hey, dude, come on. I need this. And I may not always get back to you right away, but you will never, ever, ever offend me or bother me or have me cussing your name behind your back because you're wanting something done that I've told you I would do, okay? Just as long as you commit to not cussing me behind my back if I don't actually do it. Okay, that's it, Joe. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, fantastic. I think that's it. So I know we got a lot of new clients, so keep the stuff coming, and let's make sure we get it all reviewed. Okay, I do. Oh, I see one here. Renee. Renee, you want to talk about this top shelf construction?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, if we got the time.
Yeah, we have time.
Awesome. Hey, I apologize not getting the hot points to you, but the identity call was on Wednesday, and so I turned this one pretty quick for the client, and that's why I wanted to get it in today. Normally I take about a week on the hot buttons and chewing on the bone to develop the identity, so to speak.
Well, let me comment on that. Here's what I would recommend you do in the future. I would recommend that at a very bare minimum, you take the hot buttons and at least fill in the actual hot buttons on the sheet. Even if you don't fill in the whole sheet, I would at least come in here and put hot button number 1. I would identify the problem we solve, and maybe that's it. Because
okay.
This is going to help you. The reason we do this sheet is not as a benign exercise to see if you'll do stuff. It's to help you organize these thoughts. Okay.
Understood.
So when you say, "Well, I had to hurry up and do this," well, okay. Well, at some point you sat down and organized your thoughts, and I'm asking you, go ahead and do it on this sheet.
Understood.
Okay. So let's take a look. Infinity Windows, really?
That's not me.
Oh, okay. Thank you, because I thought, hey, we just did that. Let me see if I can find this here. Oh, you know what? I opened it and then I put it back down. Let's see. This is it. Okay. All right. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger on the screen. There we go. I'm going to go straight to the static part, okay?
Good.
I may not be the fastest, the cheapest, or the simplest home remodeler to work with, but that is because I will always choose excellence over expediency, precision over ambiguity, and people over profits. Okay. I mean, it's pretty clear to see where you're going with this. I think that it's a good start, and it probably just needs a little bit of cosmetic cleanup. So let's work on that, okay? The first thing that jumps out to me is this word simplest. Because when you say I may not be the fastest, I'm really clear what that means. And when I say me, I'm reading this as if I'm a prospect, okay?
Understood.
When you say I'm not the cheapest, I go, okay. When you say simplest, I don't really know what that means. What does that mean? Does it mean you're kind of an a-hole?
Well, here's the thing, and that's, man, I fought on that word. I went through a thesaurus. Originally, I had easiest. The thing is here's his story. When he goes in to do an estimate, he doesn't immediately jump into, well, what's your budget you're working with? He starts asking a lot of questions. And the reason for that is most people have a number in mind, not realizing that they could very well blow that number right on their cabinets alone. So his budgeting and estimating process is a little different than what most people are used to.
Okay, so we got to find a way to capture that essence into here.
Right, and that's why I was struggling on that particular word.
Okay. To accommodate this, we may need to alter the sentence structure. So instead of saying I may not be the fastest, cheapest, or X to work with, we might need to say something like I may not always be the fastest, period. I'm also frequently not the cheapest, period. Also, blah, 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 because I think we need a different sentence structure to capture. It's not going to, the reason you're struggling with it is because you're trying to fit it into the sentence structure. Because what you're really trying to say is, now I'm not writing it right now, I'm just sort of talking through what I think I heard you say. Mm-hmm. I'm not the guy who's just going to lay down and do what you say. I'm not the guy who's going to be in and out real quick. I'm not the guy who's going to just look on the menu, take your order, check it off, smile, and say, great, right?
Exactly, yeah, and I talk about that in the narrative.
Okay, so I think if that's the case, the problem you're having now is you're trying to put it into a really brief amount of words so that it fits into the sentence structure. So what I'm suggesting is maybe we open this up, we make the sentence structure a little more complex, but we make it more succinct, more accurate to the point we're trying to make, and probably in the process make it a little more powerful.
Okay.
Let's monkey around with this, okay? I like this word right here. You heard me say it. I'm going to put it in here. Whoops. Put it at the wrong place. The word always is a little bit of a hedging word, right?
Right.
So here's what I have not committed to. Well, I'm always the slowest, because that's what it might sound like. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the cheapest. And what I'm trying to do with these hedging words is let them see that there's degrees here. It's not absolutes. I may not always be the fastest, and I'm frequently not the cheapest. You know what the next sentence needs to start with to really make it powerful? See if you can kind of flow this here. I may not read it out loud. Sometimes it just helps to feel what should come next. I may not always be the fastest, and I'm frequently not the cheapest. And I'm certainly not. Okay, so now I'm going to take it to the next level of certainty, of the next level of absolute. I may not be the fastest. I may not always be the fastest, and I'm frequently not the cheapest. You can't use the word twice.
Right.
I don't know if I like that sentence structure with a comma there. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
And I also like how the second sentence was a little bit longer. It looked a little bit better. I may not always be the fastest. Well, I liked it this way better.
I did too. That comma throws me off.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But I do want to use and on the last one, and I really don't want two ands in a row. I may not always be the fastest. I'm frequently not the cheapest. I mean, it works okay without the and. And I think if I have the and on the third one, I think it helps offset any loss on the second one. I may not always be the fastest. I'm frequently not the cheapest, and I'm certainly not now we got to figure out how to say this. We got a good construct now. Now we got to say it. Now the thing that I'm concerned with is I've got short, now I'm going to go long, and I don't really like that, but I may not have a choice.
Waste your time?
May not be the fastest. Do we need a word remodeler in here, or is it already well enough understood in the context of the whole site, you think?
I think it's going to be overall understood in the context of the site, especially when you consider that. Go ahead.
He's or what?
No. This guy, and it's a funny thing because where he's positioned now to where he wants to go is the difficulty that I was having, because he wants to position himself. He is in a ultra high exclusive area. Case in point, the cheapest house you're going to find there is about $750,000, and it goes from there and up. And so he's really dealing with a kind of an upper elite clientele that actually just has the cash to pay for it on the spot. And where he wants to go is he wants to really start moving into whole house remodels. He's tired of, the bathroom and just a little bathroom because, clients nickel and dime and they drive him nuts and so forth and so on. So he is currently, wants to move into the design and build and custom homes and the whole house remodels. But, he still does kitchens and bathrooms and stuff, but more, that's where he wants to go, is that custom design build.
Okay. You see there, I changed the second line. I promise you I won't be the cheapest.
Yeah, I like that.
I was reading the other way, and it says I frequently am not the cheapest, which implies that sometimes he is the cheapest. And I thought, well, no, this guy doesn't ever want to be the cheapest.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Now, he's also certainly not the most expensive, but he's in the upper tier.
And I'm certainly not going to, I may not always be the fastest. I promise you I won't be the cheapest, and I'm certainly not going to.
Yeah, see, this is the problem I was having.
Play games. That's not where I want to go, but it's helping me move in a direction.
Yeah.
I'm just going to jot a few notes here on my paper for a second. Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I feel that.
What do you think, definitely or certainly?
I like definitely.
Okay, because here's what we're, I may not be the fastest. Now, the implication there is that others may be faster, and that's probably not good. I promise you I won't be the cheapest. Okay, others will be cheaper, and that's not good to be cheaper. And I'm definitely not going to promise something I can't deliver, and the implication is others will, right?
Exactly,
Without saying others are going to promise something they can't deliver. In fact, I think it's interesting because it brings out, it's like we talked about earlier, everybody can explicitly understand what he means when he says, I may not be the fastest. We have a frame of reference for that. It's something that's already on our hierarchy of things that are important to us when hiring a remodeler. How long is it going to take? Also, the price is something that's already on that hierarchy. But this promising something that can't be delivered is something that may not be pre-existent on that hierarchy, but as soon as I point it out, boom, it goes right on there, and they totally get it, and they totally understand that they need to be wary of that. I like it. It's very subtle, I think, but it's interesting. It may not always be the fastest. I promise you I won't be the cheapest. I'm definitely not going to promise something I can't deliver. So now we need to get into the, but here's what you can expect.
Right.
Okay. Now, let me tell you what I don't like about what's going on here. I don't like that we've got subheadline A and subheadline B that are essentially repetitive of each other.
Okay.
It's not really forwarding the argument. It's repeating the argument, and I want to advance the argument. Okay? So maybe what we do is we come in here. So let's just write things down on a piece of paper and not worry about writing headlines for a second. What do we want to promise them? You know, okay, here's what I'm not. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the cheapest. I'm not the guy that's going to promise something I can't deliver. So what do you stand for? What are the things you want to be known for? And I can tell, obviously, by looking down here, but let's just kind of write it out.
Mm-hmm.
Excellence.
Oh, I shouldn't mention. Yeah, I should mention. Those are the three hot points that we talked about: excellence, precision, and people and relationships. On the precision aspect, it's in the. I put it in the text call-out box. He's got a program that's similar to what Lubbock Construction does. He's got that portal where the client goes in and they see every line item of their construction, you know, and it'll offer them the opportunity, like if they want to go out and choose their own fixtures, they can come in there. The line item will say what, you know, was budgeted for that fixture, and then they can go in and actually print in the receipt, and it automatically accounts for everything, overages. And it's a pretty slick program that he's using. And that's where the precision comes from, and why he takes so much time to do a detailed plan is for that reason. So when they go into that project portal, they see precisely what they're getting and the exact status of their project at any time.
Okay. I know this. I want to end this subheadline A with the following. And it will be worth every
penny.
Single penny. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I want to say. It may not always be the fastest. I promise you I won't be the cheapest, and I'm definitely not going to promise you something I can't deliver. But I will blah, and I will blah, and it will be worth every single penny. Oh.
Okay.
And it's just strong, okay? So we just got to figure out what those blahs are. Because then, you know, I think you can come in and you can I think what I don't want to do in the subheadline A is do a comparison of excellence over expediency, precision over ambiguity. I think that's a good thing to do in subheadline B. And since I've already said I don't want to be repetitive, what I do want to do is I want to talk about what I am going to deliver, what my promises are. I just told you what I don't do. Now I'm going to tell you what I do, right? And then I can do the sort of comparison in subheadline B. I may not always be the fastest. I promise you I won't be the cheapest, and I'm definitely not going to promise something I can deliver. But I can guarantee you'll know, you know, but I can guarantee that you'll blah, 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 and it'll be worth every single penny. There's your sentence construction.
Got it.
Then you come down here, excellence over expediency, precision over ambiguity, people over profits. And this tertiary headline basically becomes non-necessary, really.
Yeah, I see that now.
Because if I word this properly here, I've made a claim that's extraordinarily powerful. So let's word this a little bit. I may not be always be the fastest. I promise you I won't be the cheapest, and I'm definitely not going to promise something I can't deliver. But I can guarantee now I'm going to write this out in general terms, and then we'll wordsmith it to make it more powerful, okay?
Okay.
The highest quality, just looking at my notes here. Okay. But I can guarantee I don't like the way this reads, but I'm just trying to fill in my sentence construction, okay? This is what I encourage you to do, is just fill it in and then start fine-tuning it from there. But I can guarantee a stunning final result, a timeless style.
Obsessive.
I can guarantee an obsessive attention to detail, a beautiful, timeless style. I don't like the comma in there because I've already got a lot of commas, but that's okay. Let's get it on the page. But I can guarantee an obsessive attention to detail, a beautiful, timeless style, and a stunning final result that'll be worth every single penny. Yeah, I think that's kind of capturing what I want to capture. Are you seeing something I'm missing in there?
No.
I don't know that we need to get into the precision detailed plan portal thing at this level.
No, that's why I put it in the text call-out box.
Yeah. I may not always be the fastest. I promise you I won't be the cheapest, and I'm definitely not going to promise something I can deliver. But I can guarantee an obsessive attention to detail, a beautiful, timeless style. Watch this. Need another word for obsessive.
Neurotic.
Fanatic. Fanatical or fanatic?
A fanatical attention to detail.
Yeah, right. Obsessive. Here's what I want to communicate, but I don't know how to do it. Here it goes. An obsessive catering to your needs. Now, I'm talking about the relationship here, right?
Right.
Cooking, food preparation.
Great.
But I can guarantee a fanatical attention to detail, an obsessive, hold on, the word's coming to me. Fanatical attention to detail, an obsessive, there's a word that I thought of, I can't come out of my brain. Let's look for some synonyms here. Gratification, satisfy. Pander. Man, I can't think of the word. But I can guarantee a fanatical attention to detail, an obsessive.
Compulsion, no.
You know, I'm trying to think in terms of, you know, I'm going to hover over you. I mean, think of like a professional athlete that has handlers and stuff that, you know, like a king that has people feeding them grapes and with the fan, you know?
Yeah.
You know, what do you call that? I'm catering to your needs. What would you call that?
Catering to your needs, satisfying your needs.
There's a powerful word somewhere in there.
Provide, give, supply.
But I can guarantee a fanatical attention to detail, an obsessive Okay, this is not what I want either, but it's
just something to get in there for now.
attention. See, this is starting to get closer. You see that?
Yeah.
See, this is the family of words I'm looking for here.
Yeah.
Responsiveness, sensitivity. Okay, I'm going to do this. I don't want to say, obviously, this is bad, but I almost want overwhelming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Devastating. I want the word devastating, but positive. There we go. I think I almost like responsiveness now.
Yeah. I like that, extraordinary responsiveness.
See, this is the power of the thesaurus, and just being willing to sit down for 10 minutes and pound through all the different thoughts and words till it comes out. Because I agree. This is exactly what I was trying to say. But I can guarantee a fanatical attention to detail and extraordinary responsiveness to your needs. Because you know what? Holy hell, man. Who doesn't want that?
Right. Especially in a home remodel. And a stunning final result.
Yeah, it needs to be this long, right?
There's the amplifier.
Boom.
There it is.
That's the work of art, my friend.
Yeah, it is.
Frame and charge admission for it. See, now when you come over here and say this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's got a context to sit in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I like this. Let's read it. I may not always be the fastest. I promise you I won't be the cheapest, and I'm definitely not going to promise something I can't deliver. See, that shows a lack of sensitivity or responsiveness to needs, right? But I can guarantee a fanatical attention to detail, an extraordinary responsiveness to your needs, and an absolutely stunning final result that will be worth every single penny.
Yeah.
I mean, we just hit the guy in the face with a 16-pound sledge.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "Man, I'll take it. Okay, that's what I want." Because you know what? A guy like this is not a bad tactic for him to take, because he doesn't want the cheap guys. He doesn't want the guys that are trying to nickel and dime it. He wants guys
exactly
that
right.
are willing to spend. And this speaks exactly to that guy.
Yep.
Wow, this is good. Okay, I'm going to let you run with the rest of it.
All right.
Probably don't need.
Yeah, no, we don't need that. I'll delete that.
Some of them will even want to give you a personalized tour. Yeah. Now, what I would do is I would focus less. This word ambiguity is good here. When you get down here and you say, they'll give you a more ambiguous. Where did I see that a second ago?
The first line.
This is good. Yeah, just roll with it, okay? I think we're
Will
good.
do. Thanks, Rich.
Okay, I will send this over as a part of this to everybody, so you have that, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right, see ya. Bye-bye.